Hey True Believers, ENGLENTINE here with another set of comic book reviews. Just a quick 1-minute review of each book to give you an idea of what they're all about, so I can get as many as can in one video. The ratings are pretty simple. 1 star means awful, 2 star means bad, 3 is average, 4 is good, and 5 is excellent. The covers you've seen passing by you here are the books that are going to be reviewed in this video. They are usually #1s, plus some books that I've reviewed before, just want to touch upon, see if they're still good or still bad, what's happening with them. If you don't see a title you want to see reviewed, by all means, please leave it in the comments below so I can check it out the next time it comes around. Otherwise, just kick back, relax, and enjoy. Oh, and just as a little added bonus, I put them all in order of the ones that I liked least, all the way up to the ones that I like best. Just a thing with me, I like a little bit of order to things, and don't we all just love a countdown? So let's get going. The 1-star books aren't just bad, they're awful. Avoid at all cost. Samurai Jack #3, I feel I've almost betrayed some of my viewers who have been saying, you should watch Samurai Jack, watch Samurai Jack. I haven't seen anything. As a matter of fact, this issue of this comic book is my first experience with Samurai Jack. Samurai Jack, Quantum Jack #3. And it is absolute nonsense. It's mostly visual. If you don't already know what's going on, I guess if you haven't read the 2 previous issues, there's no understanding. They do not take time out to go previously in, or this is what's happening. So it's like, go. And it's just a bunch of confusing images that never come together to form any sort of comprehensible narrative. Yeah, very disappointed. Very disappointed. I'll try Samurai Jack in other forms, but right now, wow, this comic book just isn't doing it. The 2-star books may not be awful, but oh my goodness, they are just plain bad. #1 with a bullet is just, everything wrong with comic books today. I'm sure there's somebody out there, as soon as I said that, went, what? Are you kidding me? This is so good. Because it's not terrible. It's just bad. And by that I mean, it starts off with things happening, but you don't really know why, and don't really know who. You don't know who the characters are. They don't introduce the goddamn characters. What is that storytelling technique that we get now from some modern day comic books where they forget to let us in? And this one does it. By the time it gets around to letting you know who people are, you're halfway through the book. It's like, well, I don't care anymore. I just don't. I don't know. That was my reaction to this anyway. If you liked it, more power to you. Let me know how wrong I am in the comments, but man, it did not work for me. The 3-star books either didn't register for me, or I liked them, but not enough to recommend them to you. Throwaways #11, written by Caitlin Kittredge, drawn by Steven Sanders. It is such a middle-of-the-road book. Now, there are some great ideas here, and there's even some ideas that are executed very well. It is a story about a couple of assassins, 3 of them as a matter of fact, one younger, one an older woman who left her family to be an assassin. And it's just a story about what happens after a hit, at least this issue is, and the betrayal of one of the assassins. It's entertaining. There are some scenes that are just pure ridiculous. The story is better than the art. This story deserves better art, and I think over time it could be actually good, but as far as it is now, it's entertaining without really leaving any impression. Minky Woodcock, the girl who handcuffed Houdini, part 2 of 4. This is the story of Houdini, told through his assistant's eyes. Now, granted, we mostly are seeing Houdini, but she does get her own story as well. It's good, but it is drawn out. I have to say, it's not a 4-issue miniseries game, because here, sure, we get the highlights, but we also get such minute details to the point where it kind of slows down. It really gets boring in the middle. And that's why I say it could be done in 2 or 3 issues. Really. Like I said, it's enjoyable. It's not great, but it could be better with a little bit more tightening up. Transformers Visionaries, #1. And you know what? I'm not a Transformers guy. I couldn't tell you who the characters are supposed to be in the pantheon of the Transformers universe to save my life. So what I see is a story of, do we really have to have side head shape? That's not a thing. Guys, I lived through the 80s. This is not, you're not rebelling against anything. It just looks silly and stupid. Anyway, this side head shaved girl comes in and says, hey, I hate you. And then the Transformers act really stupid. She gets the drop on them. They find out magic affects them, and now there's a war. It isn't bad. It's not great. It's not good. It's there. You know, the pages are in order. I don't know. I'm not a Transformers guy, but it didn't offend me. But I'm not going to be writing letters home about it, telling people they need to buy it. The Walking Dead 175. So Eugene finally completes his mission. Remember when he was first introduced, of course, he was lying at the time. He was trying to get everybody to Washington, D.C. on the basis that he was a scientist who knew how to solve the problem. However, when it was revealed that he was lying, he also said that he figured that Washington had the best chance to have some sort of structure, to have some sort of plan in place. So they finally arrive at a place where all the soldiers are wearing armor, they're well armed. So it does look like Eugene has finally fulfilled his original mission from when he was introduced. The book itself is okay. I mean, the story is fine. It's just that there's a new character who is far more annoying than any that I have ever seen. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag, and I am interested in seeing where this is going. Ghostbusters Answer the Call #2. It is surprising to me that the comic book is able to create 4 distinct personalities. While in the movie we had 2 people acting alike, 1 person acting odd, and 1 person being a racial stereotype that should have been embarrassed as soon as she saw the script. I don't know how much she brought to it, so. But the book itself is actually pretty good. Art's decent. It's got a cartoonish yet realistic style to it. It's entertaining. Like I said, the characters are different people. This would have been an acceptable sequel or to Ghostbusters 2, I think. If only they could have made the movie as entertaining as this comic. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Universe. Now, I have never really been a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan past the movies and the original comic books. After it became the cartoon and funny stuff, I kind of gave up on it. Picking this up, I think it's actually enjoyable. It's really told with tongue-in-cheek. It's a lot of fun. Art is horrible. I mean, it is really bad art. It's like, I understand I can't draw, so yeah, it's better in me. It's one of those things that how can I critique it? Well, I've been looking at good art and I've seen bad art, and this isn't good, even for what it's written. But the story itself is what carries it through. Just the fact that it's so much fun to watch them try to get out of this very crowded mall with people looking for something and they don't know what they're looking for. So, yeah, like I said, enjoyable story, bad art, decent comic. The 4-star books, they're good, solid comics. These are the ones I can start recommending. Spawn number 281 was a bizarre book for me to read because I haven't really followed Spawn with any kind of regularity in a decade, maybe more. So it really was like hearing stories about high school friends, and I know who they were, but not who they are. And I gotta say, the first time I read it, my brain was trying to wrap around things like Cyan's older now. Okay, well, she would be, wouldn't she, if they were aging her? She's kidnapped. She's being haunted by the bodies of the people who were in the room that she's in. It's a very cool ghost story. Spawn's in it, and he does have you know, some action scenes. But in all honesty, I was more interested in the story of CAIN being, like I said, being kidnapped. That was the most interesting part to me. And it just drew me in. I wanted to watch her story more than Spawn. Interesting, good art for the story itself. I don't know if I would put this with, say, I don't know, Cyborg or something like that. But for Spawn, it definitely works. And in the end, yeah, I found it enjoyable. James Bond the Body #1, or James Bond 007. We know what his call sign is. We don't need to know that part. Anyway, James Bond the Body #1 is basically weird. I mean, in all honesty, sometimes you can get a book and you go, okay, well, this is good, this is bad, this is strange, because nothing about this should be good, but it works. He is there to protect somebody. He's at a dinner party, and he's supposed to be protecting somebody, and he knows there's somebody who's trying to kill this guy, and it's all about him posing as a waiter looking for the potential assassin. And he's telling this all the while he's on a doctor's table. And it's all set up, but it's done so well because you get all of the information you need, and it's just an interesting story and a part of being a spy that often isn't explored in other James Bond stories. So yeah, I can recommend this one highly. Baby Teeth #7. So if you've watched the countdowns that I do, you know that there's at least one shop that really pushes Baby Teeth. So I figured, you know what? I haven't read it in a few issues, probably about 3, I think. Stuff has happened. It's weird because I was like, okay, you know, it's only a few issues. I should be catching right up. Holy crap! It starts off, there's a woman holding a gun to the baby. What the hell happened in the last 3 issues? And the thing is I didn't feel lost. Obviously, I read the first few, so I didn't feel incredibly lost there. But what amazes me is how easy it was to get back into it. And if you pick this up, you are told who is who, what is what, and why. And that is a really good thing, because every issue should be somebody's first issue. Even though this is an issue 7, and you start off in the middle of a story, eventually you're going to catch up, and that will bring you forward to what ends up being a really strong comic book. I mean, this was an entertaining issue right here, and what would then be a really good storyline. Koshai the Deathless, #1, from the pages of Hellboy. Hellboy does make an appearance in the beginning. Koshai throws a dagger into his back, feels bad about it, and offers to buy Hellboy a beer, as one does. And so Hellboy says, hey, dude, tell me your story, and we get it. We find out that he was a very good soldier, so good that the other men were jealous and beat him nearly to death, and that's when a dragon comes up and says, if you promise to serve me, I will heal you. And he does. He even gives him a shirt that makes him invincible. And this is basically a story of a man who was destined to be deathless, as it says, because as soon as it has found a way to kill him, he's revived again. And it goes like this a couple of times, and it's a very interesting story. And while there is violence, it doesn't seem like it's a very violent book. It really is just about this guy's life, and he doesn't glorify the violence. It's almost like it's repentant. Anyway, this is the first issue, and I've got to say it's strong enough. I really want to read the second one now. Ice Cream Man #1. So we've got orphaned boys, ice cream men, werewolves, dead parents, killer spiders. This is an incredibly strange book that is oddly entertaining. I mean, it puts you on edge, because really, where are you going with this, and why? What's the purpose of the story that we're reading here? Is it supposed to scare us? Because it's not quite scary. Is it supposed to be a murder mystery? Because we know who did it. It's very odd as to finding out, like I said, what is the purpose of this story? But at the same time, like a car wreck, you just cannot look away. It is very intriguing. This is a book that I have no idea where I'm going, but I'm happy to be on the journey. The 5-star books are excellent. They really do accomplish what they set out to do. Animosity Evolution just continues to be an excellent book. I mean, this is an imaginative story. You have an event that triggers animals and humans. They can understand each other now. And there's wars going on. There's an assassination attempt on a witness to a crime here done by a dart frog. It's just so entertaining, so much fun, very well written. The art is great. If I were to make a top 10 list of comic books that I read that you really should be picking up, one of them would have to be Animosity Evolution. It is just tons of fun. This is the dart frog thing I was telling you about. It really is. There's no pretense to it. It is what it is, knows what it is, and is just, like I said, very entertaining. The Shadow and Batman #4. Now, while this is not as good as the DC released Shadow and Batman, or Batman and the Shadow as it was called, earlier in 2017, this is a very entertaining story. I can recommend this quite easily. In this particular issue, we have Batman being controlled by CAIN, and he is being told to shoot the Shadow. All the while, CAIN's just beating the teetotal hell out of the Shadow as well. It really is a villain's moment in this particular issue. And that's good. The series is winding down, so you need everything to get darker before the dawn, as they say. And this issue absolutely gets that right. I'm a big fan of the Shadow, obviously a big fan of Batman, and this is just top-notch storytelling. So there you go, kids. What'd you think? Was there something I got wrong, something got right? Are there any of these books that you read, or is there something missing that you would like to have reviewed? Let me know in the comments below. Frankly, I have a good time with the independent comic books, and I don't think I do these enough. I'm going to try to catch up here, because there's a lot of stories I would like to continue, and like Ice Cream Man here, just some I'm just glad I got to read. They're pretty good. Anyway, let me know in the comments below. Also, click like, share, subscribe. You know the drill. If you haven't done it already, hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything. Cool things happen around these parts sometimes. Not often, but sometimes. Also, this is the way we make a living, so if you don't mind, go on over to Patreon. Drop $1 in the till. Help us keep making videos like this. Links in the description below. I'd like to thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.